Well, thank you for joining us exclusively on THV 11 Plus. I'm Jurnee Taylor, along with meteorologist Simone Thomas. She has more on what to expect in today's forecast. What do we need to know heading into the weekend, Simone?
Well, as we head into the weekend, at least for today, as you get ready to start out your weekend, we do have a red flag warning in effect until 7 o'clock, which also means we have a THV 11 weather impact alert in effect until 7 o'clock. Now, that is because high winds and low humidity are leading to increased dangerous wildfire conditions. So I know people are getting out of work and school, ready to enjoy those weekend activities. Just remember, outdoor burning is not recommended, and activities like how sometimes people like to throw out their cigarette butts is not recommended. Have a plan in place, because if any fires do start and evacuation orders are issued, you want to make sure you can act quickly. Now, looking ahead, this is that red flag warning in effect for mainly the northern half of the state, and again, that's until 7 o'clock this evening. Now, tomorrow things are quieter, partly sunny expected with lower to middle 70s, so we'll start to get warmer again as we head into the weekend. Sunday, though, we're tracking that potential for scattered thunderstorms, some of which could be strong to severe. More details are coming up in your 7-day outlook, so make sure you stick around.
Thank you, Simone. Well, North Little Rock Community Staple has reopened. We're talking about Funland at Burns Park. It took a major hit during the March 31st, 2023 tornadoes. Ever since then, operations there have halted. However, it's back with an abundance of new upgrades, all of which made possible through a city investment totaling over $3 million. We've reached the end of what's been a week filled with adversity for the state. Fire crews spent days battling several fires in Arkansas. This video here shows what's left over from the St. Joseph Center in North Little Rock. The historic building went up in flames on Wednesday afternoon. There were reportedly smoke in the attic, which prompted emergency response. Fire officials say that dry conditions allowed the fire to spread rapidly.
Ooh, took a pretty big gut punch. This is devastating, but you know, we're just so happy that all humans and animals are safe, and that buildings can be replaced and things can be replaced, and so it's going to be a long journey, but we'll get it done.
The center had previously been damaged during the March 2023 tornado and had been undergoing renovations. And it wasn't any better for Little Rock. In fact, we learned the city received 14 calls Wednesday afternoon. One fire started up in the southwest neighborhood along Saucer Lane. At least 4 homes were damaged. Our team spoke with a neighbor who witnessed it all.
You look down there and it's always going to be in your memory that it could have been you. The wind, high as that wind was, it was carrying, and it could have carried everything on this neighborhood out.
As for the homeowner whose house was burned down, she says she lost everything, including her pets. Well, taking you now to this story, the city of Camden is also dealing with its fair share of fire damage. That's where we sent Carter Thweets for a better look of what's left behind.
Firefighters tell me there were multiple fires that took place here in Camden, but this one was the biggest. It was the toughest to fight, and it also took out a piece of Arkansas history.
We weren't aware that it was going to get that bad as quickly as it did.
Camden Fire Chief Jeremy Covington's crew responded to 4 fires on Wednesday. He says 2 were grass fires on Washington Street, and they had to have a volunteer department put out another one on Bradley Ferry Road.
We got the call for a fire on Fairview Road, so we broke up, sent units in that direction. Once they arrived, they realized that the fire was completely out of control.
It was also getting closer to Patsy Hale's Fairview Road residence. Firefighters were able to stop it before it did that, but Hale's son Jim says the fire still took out 8 of 9 historic buildings in her backyard.
All these cabins were furnished like it would have been around the Civil War or the late 1800s, and so it was just it was kind of my dad's passion, my mom's passion.
Over the years, Patsy and her husband Ralph hosted tours, family reunions, and school field trips.
Even some of the firefighters yesterday were telling my mom that, hey, when I was in 6th grade, we toured these cabins, you know, with our school.
Despite the loss, Jim says the most important thing is that his mom is safe. Camden Mayor Charlotte Young tells me with no injuries due to any of the fires, the overwhelming feeling in Camden today is gratitude.
Everyone was so thankful for the first responders and what they did. And even today, citizens have come up here to the fire department still bringing water and snacks in appreciation for what everybody did yesterday.
In Camden, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
Now for your weekly recap of the Arkansas General Session. The agenda was full for the state legislature. We start with the $750 million being held for the Franklin County Prison Project. The Joint Budget Committee approved that funding. According to the Senator Jonathan Dismang, it represents a major step forward to advance the 3,000-bed facility. This as the project continues facing heavy backlash from opposing lawmakers.
The way this project has been done to date, that we will spend mega millions and we'll find out we need more money.
I struggle to think, what if we don't build this prison? What is the cost to society? What are the costs to the people? How do we answer to the people at home when there's no misdemeanor justice?
A vote on whether to revise the cost estimate should happen after spring break. An Arkansas lawmaker is pulling a bill she sponsored to get more input from the Attorney General's office, known as the Vulnerable Youth Protection Act. Republican State Representative Mary Bentley says the bill would allow civil lawsuits to go forward against anyone involved in the so-called social transitioning of a minor. The act includes procedures such as castration or mutilation, but would also penalize people assisting minors with acts like changing a teen's name, the pronouns they use, or even the hairstyle they wear.
Things like a haircut, even clothing, or even the use of pronouns, right? That's all speech. And so our concern there is that when you are criminalizing, or in this case, providing a civil cause of action for certain things, certain forms of speech, that has to pass a very, very high constitutional bar.
In 2021, a judge struck down a law banning gender-affirming care for minors in Arkansas. The state is still appealing that ruling. This revised bill is expected to be brought back soon as a special order. There were two notable bills that did get signed into law. The Arkansas Access Act is an overhaul to the state's higher education. It aligns with the Arkansas Learns Act. Access, however, focuses on providing a path forward to colleges and careers. Another bill will permit nitrogen gas to be used for executions. Louisiana recently performed their first nitrogen gas style execution. As for Arkansas, there are 25 inmates on death row. The last time an execution was performed here was 2017. Arkansas now joins 3 others allowing this type of execution. Well, the Lady Red Wolves are going dancing for the first time ever. Head coach Destiny Rogers is taking in the big moment ahead of the big game. You're watching THV 11 Plus.
A beautiful Saturday in store, but storm chances are picking up for your Sunday. Stay right where you are. We'll be back with your 7-day outlook as well as more news in 2.5 minutes.